I've got great news. I'm well enough to work on the car. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to take some of this, and this is going to go from my little T-fitting going to my shocks, and that's going to go to my little air compressor air gauge. So I'll be able to tell what PSI it's at now that it's freaking staying at whatever pressure I want it. So I mean, right now I've got it pretty beefed up right now. It's probably at like 40 PSI or something ridiculous. Keeps her jacked up. Riding actually fairly nice, pretty firm. Not bumpy, not throwing me around or anything, so I'm fine with that pressure. I might take a little bit off just to soften it up and make it right just a tiny bit softer. I don't know, it's kind of weird. You gotta get it right, and I don't know what's a good PSI for the ride. So, but anyways, I'm gonna do that and then run the wire to my battery so I can get that DeWalt battery out. I might go to where could I go to get this? I might go to I've got to get some little battery terminal things I can hook up to my wire, because I'm just going to use this stuff. I mean, it doesn't take much power to run the that little compressor, and this is thick enough to where it won't chooch it. So I'm just going to run that underneath the car. Probably pull it in the driveway so I can work on it. Out of the driveway, excuse me. I'll just solder this to all the wires and stuff, and yada yada yada. Okay, so that was sort of simple. Quick tip: when you're putting that size tubing that they provide, which is like a 1/4 inch, when you're doing that to a little plastic T-fitting and it doesn't want to go on, use a heat gun. I just did that and it worked great. So yeah, check for leaks. I'll go under there again and check for leaks, but I didn't hear anything. So we're at 40 PSI, and that provides one hell of a lift. Look at that. That's like scary. but she's you know, nice and solid compared to before. So now we got to do the caulking and stuff, but I'll do that later. But the wiring is next. We got to do that after I put the stupid spare tire back. Tempted to just leave it out. Come under here and you listen for any hissing. I don't hear any there. I don't hear any there. Anything up here? Of course, you can always check with soapy water. Oh God, I feel like an old man trying to get out of there. So, quite the lift there. One thing we still need to fix, and I thought it fixed it last time, but we have a tracking issue. You can notice that kind of sticks in. This one here sort of sticks out a little bit too far. So I don't know if it's maybe the driveway or what, but we'll figure it out. But so I just figured out a great way for this wiring to work. Instead of having to run into my battery, I'll show you just where I can run it to. It's friggin' genius. Friggin' genius. You know those cigarette lighter ports that are always on, you never use? Well, you pop this out, pull this guy out, and you got your terminal leads exposed to that. So I'm going to splice into that, and we'll be wired up. Look at that. This does not look right sticking in there that far. We'll take it to Schwab's when I get an alignment after the rack and pinion and the upper control arms and tie rods and all that shit gets done. But now I think it's ready for some torque and twist. But yeah, and if you want to lower it, soften it up if it's right, maybe you have too much pressure, you can press this little button here. Just takes her down a bit. Let's put that back up to 40. I may lower it to 35. because I really don't need it that high, and I don't want it riding like a son of a bitch. You know, I don't want to go over a bump and pop the bags. I think they're pretty durable, so they should be fine, but still, I don't know their capacity rating, so. Sorry if I don't capture everything. I'll move you back a bit. Make sure you're capturing a little bit. Okay. So, with this wire here, this is Radio Shack wire. It's like 18 gauge or whatever the hell it is. I always use the one with the white stripe as the negative. And so this here is our positive, the one that's just playing. So I'm just gonna cut some clean ends here. And then we'll just I'm gonna take a little bit here and just pop it off. Really don't need this much wire here, but I'm gonna use what they gave me, so. Stop getting tangled up. That's a wire's job, is to get tangled up. Okay. So we're gonna go with something like that. Take a little bit of solder and we'll just wrap it around here. Oh, the peaceful sound of the birds just amazes me, you know. You wake up in the morning and you got a nice bird chirping in the... Shut up! Oh, yeah. Should be nice and hot. So then now... get it all nice and hot. Who cares if you chooch the insulation? Oh yeah, just chooch. That was a good chooch. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, so here's the heat shrinking. It's all done. I went ahead and soldered all that. I'll just desolder it later. And I kind of want the light on there. It's a nice little orange light. So I have this excess that I trimmed off when I did the heat shrinking. And so what I'll do is I'll just run it, one here and then one there. And actually, wait, I don't know, I'll need a ground, so fuck, I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave that until we put it up front. You know, we have all this excess and can get rid of this. But at least I got a solid connection there, so I can kind of clean up back here and start running this wire to the front, and then we'll remove that center console and then get her wired up. So we'll clean up, move our tools to the front, and then start rerouting the wire. Okay, at first it didn't want to like run here, but I had to turn the car on so I didn't drain the battery. So yeah, she works fine. So basically what I did is I just pushed it in these old terminals, make sure they weren't crossing over, and then just stick them in there. And as long as you have the car running, it'll that battery will run the pump, and it'll you know, pump it up. And I was able to air it out, get it back to where it was sagging, and then pump it back up to 35 psi. Yeah, within probably about 30 seconds or so. It's running a little bit slower than it does on shorter wire and on this, so we will have to perfect that. But right now, that works. Everything's working. I don't see any smoke, so you know the car's not chooching. So we're gonna just throw everything back together and call her a day, and we'll do the test drive in the same video. So yeah. Really hope this lens or this battery isn't chooched. Piss me off. So yeah, we got 35 psi in the rear air shocks. She's not sagging. So let's go for a test drive. And of course, this camera's gonna be all over the place. It's gonna bounce around, and I don't care. Well, I do care, but a new truck. I'm like, dude, you don't need a bigger truck. And he finally moved this trailer. I don't know if maybe he's actually using it or if he was forced to put it in storage or something. All I know is it's bullshit. I'm gonna need to change my oil soon. I almost want to just wait till my next paycheck. She's bitching at me. Change oil soon. I think we'll do a highway test here. Hey, UPS guy, dude. Oh man, that lawn looks so much better. Hey, she's turning, and I'm going. Oh, and there's definitely a lot less body roll though with putting air in there. Love it. I love it. That rides so good. Yeah, we'll just go up 185th, and then we'll hit the highway, and then we'll go Cedar Hills, and then I'm gonna hit Winco and get some. Ranch. I gotta have some ranch. I'm in need of ranch. Big time. But yeah, I am so excited to get those air shocks. I'm glad I ordered them. It's just like, hey, you know what? I've got the dough. Here we go. Order them. So, should be interesting when we put them in. It should ride even better than it does now. Especially when we throw some air in them. Okay, I'm not going to stay behind a semi-truck. Oh, hey there, don't stall on me. That was weird. I don't get why it does that. I notice it only does that when I mess with the steering alignment. It's just the weirdest thing. But no, it really doesn't do that. It shouldn't do it at all when we get the front done. Get a steering alignment, that little idle shit where it wants to stall and then goes back up, that should go away. That always bothers me. Oh yeah, I think she likes 35 PSI. I think I'll put it at 40 whenever I put the trailer in. And then if I ever go off-roading, I'll probably just air him out. Maybe keep him at 10 PSI. Holy shit. Fender bender. And for those of you with regular Explorers, get Gabriel shocks. The front set I got for this was it was like 38 bucks for two of them. Not each, but if you buy two, it's about 38 bucks. So $40 to the front, and essentially you can get the same rear ones for the same price. So really, if you do your shocks yourself, it's only going to cost you like 80 bucks. I mean, that's a lot better than what I'm paying. I mean, I'm spending $400. Actually, $300. $300 or whatever, just to have air shocks. And nobody makes aftermarket front air shocks for this thing. It's like, why? They make the rear air shocks, and And then other Explorers, the older limiteds, they'll have, I saw one that had a kit that had the regular shocks but with a coil on them. And I'm like, I want that. And like the top part mounts right, but the bottom won't work with mine. And the length it's too short and all that crap. So I'm just like, this isn't gonna work. But yeah, how's this? Pretty good, huh? I heard some Explorers actually don't ride that smooth. They're sort of kind of, I don't know, bumpy. I've never really ridden any other Explorer except for this one. Like, this is the only Explorer I've ever been in. I've been in a Jeep and it rode just fine. Oh yeah, this is a good test. Big holes in the road. I used to fall in those. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Stop it. Now we don't do that. The big test for seeing how good your system will absorb bumps is Cedar Hills. It's got the shittiest road right now. They've got one spot where there's literally like 4 to 5, maybe 6 manhole covers in a single row on the driver's side, and you hit every single one. It's fucking annoying. And then I put the Gabriels in, and I'm like, oh damn. Okay, we are on Cedar Hills, and in just a few seconds here, this is going to get pretty rough. There's one bump. We got a manhole cover right there. Just went over it like it was nothing. Right here, they got a nice, shitty patch of concrete. And a nice, uneven road. And I'm doing this all one-handed. See, that was like nothing right there. Manhole cover. The only thing I wish I could do is firm up the shocks a bit. They're just a little too soft. I think you got lots of spring right now. We just need a little bit a firmer shock. It'd be nice to make another set of mounts and then mount a set of Rancho adjustable shocks. That would probably be a sweet ride. But I can't complain with this. And you shouldn't either. I remember Intel Pentium Numbers. He was like, hey, is that just the camera shaking, or is it just your Explorer doesn't ride very good? I'm like, both? Now that's not the case. The camera will just be shitting whenever it wants to. Surprisingly, I'm not half battery. Alright, well, you've seen the worst. It rides over like it's nothing, so bye-bye.